Hello guys, Jen here at Living, Laughing, Crafting with Crones, and I thought we would come back with a crafting video today, as my internet's been kind of funky and not wanting to let me live stream, and obviously crafting is my other passion, so I thought we would come out today with one of those. So what we're doing today is I thought I would go over the basics of some adult coloring, but adult coloring with alcohol markers and adding pencil crayons for an accent. It's mostly the way that I color. Um, if you couldn't tell by my thumbnail or by my desk here, Ohuhu is my favorite marker. I have no doubt Copic is probably better, but not everybody has that kind of budget. Copics are super expensive, so Ohuhu is a wonderful marker. We're going to be going with the Mark Art pencils. And then this is the picture I've chosen. It is a digital print of a coloring book. Gosh, Joanna Bassford? No, that's not it. Sorry, I forget the name off the top of my head. I have quite a few. And then this is just my little dish of accessories. Some white pens, some gold pens, just for finishing touches at the end. So what I thought we'd do is start coloring, and I am going to color in hyperspeed, so because this is going to take quite a while. And then I will go ahead and voice over kind of what I'm doing as I'm doing it, so that you guys have an idea of what's going on. So I hope you guys enjoy, and please leave any questions, comments down below, and don't forget to like and subscribe, and come on back for more. Guys, jump back. Okay, so what we've done is I've gone ahead and I've gone through all my marker sets, and I've picked out the colors that I'm going to need for the first few items, or the first few tasks. The skin, the hair, and the wings is what I've chosen first. And for anybody who's not familiar with alcohol markers, this is more of a beginning tutorial, so if you are more advanced, then it's probably not for you. But every marker set will come with a swatch sheet. If you happen to get some strange one that doesn't, please go ahead and make a swatch sheet. It's so important. The colors in the caps never match the actual swatches, and I even find sometimes the swatch sheets a little difficult, especially the ones that come with the Ohuhu. I sometimes like to swatch on my Bristol Vellum from Spring Hill. Sorry, had to look over at it. So I've gone ahead and I've chosen all my colors. And what I've chosen, these may be a bit hard to see. I always just re-swatch them. These are my skin colors and my hair colors and my wing colors. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to get coloring. And like I said, I will voice over anything that needs explanation as I go. But I'm going to put this into hyperspeed so you're not here all day watching me color. So I hope you enjoy. Okay guys, this is my first time ever recording a voiceover, so we'll see how this goes. But we're starting with their skin tone here, and I always start with the lightest marker first, and I lay down a base layer of that light marker like I'm doing here. And then I will move on to my medium shade, and I will shade in some of the areas that need shading with the medium marker, and then I move on to the darkest. Which is what I'm doing here, and I add a little more shading over the medium shading. Then I go back in the last time with the lightest marker again and blend everything together. And I'm just doing the same thing here on her arms to do the shading. You want to pick three colors so that you can do this. So you have your shading. So you want to have at least 3 colors to do a proper amount of shading. You can do it with 2, with 3 is better. So now we're moving on to the wings. And I'm using blues here, and as you can see here, I only have 2, but we're actually doing this with markers and pencil crayons. So I laid down a light color, I'm laying down my darker color, I'm going back over with my light color. No, I apologize, I actually have 3 colors here. So I'm doing the exact same thing as I did on the arms. And you can see I have a little scratch paper there. I always re-swatch regardless, even though they're swatched beforehand, just to ensure that they're the colors I want and that they're going to match properly. So now I'm just working on her hair, And exact same process. I start with the lightest color and I work my way down. When you're coloring hair like this, you're going to want to leave your highlights on the parts that are sticking up the highest, essentially. So you can see on those little curves, I'm leaving those essentially white almost, to leave those highlighted. So now we're moving down to the books. Um, and the process essentially stays the same basically all the way through. Really, nothing changes. You can see one of my other tricks here that I use. You can see all of the markers that I have out. I always pick out the colors I'm going to use, and then I leave them out until my coloring of that page is finished. And if I do have to put them away for some reason, what I will do is I'll put a sticky note on the paper that I'm using coloring with whatever numbers of markers I was using, because trying to remember or find out which colors I was using can be a nightmare. So I leave them either in these like plastic cups. I have a couple of cute glass jars to store them in, but sometimes I'm working on a couple of paintings or colorings at once. So it's just a good tip to definitely keep them out and write down what you were using so that you know for next time. So we're just continuing to color here. So I am going to shut my mouth for a minute and let you guys continue to watch the coloring. Also, I ended up shading this with Burtfurner pencils instead of the mark arts that were shown at the beginning. And that's because the Burtfurners came in before I started coloring. And you guys seen me in the beginning color this in sped up footage with alcohol marker. And now we're going to do the shading with colored pencil. Now I've taken out my Burtfurner colored pencils here, and I have the regular set, and just today I got the 72 set of skin tones. So what we're going to do is actually shade her, I'm going to shade in her face and her eyes. So the way I do this, the way I choose my colors is I take out my swatch sheet for my pencil crayons, and I go through and I choose my colors that are the closest. Then I take a small scrap of paper that I can scribble right to the edge, and I pick the pencils that I feel are closest and I scribble them, and then I put them next to what I am looking to shade, and I try and get them as close as possible. So that's the way I do that. And so I've already gone ahead and picked the colors, so you guys didn't have to waste time watching me. And what I've gotten kind of a regular kind of medium mid shade, I've got a dark shade, and I've got a highlight shade to do each of these. And then I've got two colors for her eyes, a darker and a lighter, and then two for her lips, a darker and a lighter. So we'll start with her skin, and I'm going to start with the dark, and I'm going to start in the shaded areas, and we're just going to add in some shading with the darker pencil. Now you don't have to go over the entire face because we have that base of marker. That's kind of what that's for. It's to keep you from having to kind of color in the entire face. And having this set of skin tone Burtfurners was very helpful. I've never had such a large set of skin tone colors before, and it's a wonderful set. The largest set I've ever seen is 24. So to have a set of 72 was great. It had a massive, massive selection. So finding the proper colors was not difficult at all. I'm just moving over to the medium shade here to blend out that dark. And I'm just kind of switching back and forth between the dark and the medium right now. And I'm kind of adding in the dark where I added in the darker marker. And this was also a gray toned photo, so you can kind of go from that reference as well, where to add your shading. And then for the highlights, you definitely want to highlight your nose and any parts that need to be lighter. parts of the face that would be the highest are the parts that you want to kind of give a little highlight to. And this isn't a huge difference. It's quite subtle. But it does make a difference, as you can see here with the shading on the nose. It definitely does make a difference. And sharpen my pencil here. And I'm going to move down to her skin down here, because we could definitely use some shading here for sure. You can imagine, you can see how long this takes, so you can imagine how long coloring the entire picture in pencil crayon. That takes a very long time. So doing it this way and having the base of marker cuts down your coloring time immensely. Immensely, immensely. Just have a little bit of neck showing here. These are beautiful, beautiful pencils. The Burtfurner round pencils. I love them. I'm really, really enjoying them a lot. For the highlight on the arm, I'm just going to add a little bit up the center here. That arm's not that highlighted. And over here, I'm just going to blend out what I did into the center and then into the rest of the dark here so it matches a little better. Same here, just blend this in. And then I can use a little highlight along this edge. So you can see that the change is subtle. I will use actually the highlight here around the flame because her skin would be lighter behind that. Sorry, I'm trying to keep my head back out of the frame. Okay. Now we'll move on to her eyes. And I'm going to start with this. This color is almost identical to her eye. I'm just adding, just intensifying the color up near the top. I don't even know actually if I'm going to use the second blue. I might just keep it by intensifying the color like this and leaving it as is. Then I'm just going to add a light layer of pencil through the rest of the eye. Going to line around the eye though. Give it a little bit of darkness. It helps it to pop. And I'll probably add some makeup to her. That's another good way, a good time to do it is when you're doing your pencil crayons. I just don't have any colors picked out. No, this is really just a demonstration to show you. Now for her lips, I have a dark red and a light red. So I'm going to take the dark and I'm going to do the edges here, the corners where it's very dark. And then I'm going to take my light red and I'm going to go in just like this. And you can see everything just brightens up just slightly. Now, when you're finished with this, you will want to keep in mind, you want to take either a black micron or your black pencil crayon, nice and sharp, and just sharpen up some of your black lines that you go over with pencil crayon, because they will kind of fade out from the pencil crayon. But that's how you go ahead and you shade in your colorings with pencil crayon. So I'll go ahead and finish this one with the hair and the wings, and maybe a little bit of shading to the books, and definitely the candles. But I'll probably do that either in sped up version or off camera. But I want to thank everybody for watching, and I hope you enjoyed this, and I hope you got some useful information out of it. If you have any questions, please leave them down in the comments below, and hit that like, subscribe button, and don't forget to hit the notification bell so you don't miss any of my other videos that I post. Thanks, guys. Bye-bye.